We show the grains in our Future Speak show on Wednesdays, along with a total of about 24 different futures contracts, and we do deep analysis on the weekly and daily. I updated this a little bit since my Wednesday show, and I want to illustrate what we look at by looking at these grains. Now, we have a lot of grain traders that are members here at askSlim, so I think you're going to find this to be informative, and if this is the first time you've seen this analysis, well, you're certainly going to learn a lot. Let's take a look here as we look at a chart of wheat weekly. And you can see in here there's three different moving averages that are showing on there, and the markets are moving. The market moves up and down, and it's pretty hard to glean the meaning of what you're seeing in here unless you understand cycle analysis. Cycle analysis is understanding the rhythms in the market, the heartbeat. There is money flows in and out, and the way it flows in and out is reflected in the cycle analysis. Cycles are measured from low to low, and what we look for are repeating lows. So if you look at this chart, you can see, well, you can basically see it's in an uptrend. You can see it got some support here at the 34-week moving average as it moved down. But other than that, you don't really get a sense for, well, what now? How do you project what's next in time and price? So I'm going to move over now to the cycle analysis on wheat, and you'll see it changed pretty significantly. Now we've identified a rhythm in the market, a rise and a decline, a rise and a decline in a somewhat repeating time frame. Now, if I look at this cycle bracket right over here, which if you are a thinkorswim user or TradingView, you can get these, and this says 13 bars. So that's a 13-week repeating cycle length is what we're looking at. So what that tells us is that right now the market, which has turned down from that peak that you see right over there, well, there's some information there. That cycle doesn't really bottom until you get out over here into the beginning of July. And because it's turned down right over here, it gives us a warning that if it were to rally back, it would fail in a resistance area. We create these resistances or the supports with what we call swing high, swing low analysis, and we have some videos on that in our library also. We also look at momentum, as you see right in here. This is our proprietary reversal scout, and that helps us get a sense for momentum. You see where the momentum turned down here. You had about a month where it came down, and it had kind of a short cycle there. Here, where it started to flatten out and turn down, you had about 5 or 6 weeks, and here you see it's still moving up, so it hasn't really given the negative signal yet, though it may. So what this says to us is that were you to get a rally, it would probably decline again, though you see the support coming in as you have this hammer that's formed right over there. And that says, well, it's trying to find a reason to bounce. And the question is, how far will it go? And then after it rallies, where will it come down to? Well, this projects down to about 630, and that would mean that if it came up in here, it would be a short sell for active traders. People that are investors might just want to wait for the buying opportunity. Now let's look at the shorter term, and you'll see on the daily chart there are also cycle patterns, and here they are pretty clear when you look at that. So in this case, the cycle rhythm that we're looking at is 39 days. And you can see in here our momentum indicator is the slim ribbon. Now when the slim ribbon is choppy and flat, it does not give good indications. Here where it turned negative and the slim ribbon PO, you can see that right there, turned negative, that gives you the indication you're likely to decline. You see right over here where it turned up, that green arrow says momentum is up. The wheat price was at about 643 at the time, and it rallies all the way up here to 772. Note the slim ribbon PO, the signal indicator for the momentum, giving these positive signals right here, and turning green, as you can see right there, where you would only really consider long side trades. Here you see it turn neutral, and now it's negative. So in other words, we're getting a rally under a negative momentum condition. Here's that sell zone now that gets to be created. As now I'll look at the side by side, and you can see that what this is setting up is a potential short-term short. in the wheat market. So that says to us that it's likely that this rally will fail. You can see the declining phase here, the rally phase here, the declining phase here, and the rally phase here. But when that rally does fail, then the cycle that it is in, as you can see the note right there, is synced with the low in the weekly chart in mid-July. So when this comes down right over here, it will join this cycle right over here, and there will be sizable downside risk during that period. So this is how we project out in time and price, looking at several things, looking at the cyclical rhythms, looking at the momentum conditions, looking at the swing high, swing low analysis for support and resistance, and then looking at the way the cycles sync up, and of course adding in candlestick charts, which we think are extremely valuable messages. So all of that is a look at wheat, which we would be looking for as a short-term trader to be a seller. When I look at /ZS, which is the soybean market, and I'll just keep this up on the side-by-side to make it brief, that you have right over here a similar situation. Now we put the colored phasing in this right here so that we could see when it's positive and when it's neutral or negative. It would be red if it was negative. So you can see these very powerful cycles. Only a little bit of time to fall. We call that swamped. The same thing here, we call that swamped. And right over here, you can see it's actually turning down a little bit harder after that big shooting star. What this says to us, by the way, is momentum here is still strong. Here you could see on the daily chart, the bottom right here and the rally, which is synchronized with wheat, and the momentum in here at neutral did not turn negative. And this is synced again for a low in mid-July. So this up here would be a selling opportunity for another decline joining up right in there. So this is multiple time frame analysis, another feature of the type of analysis we do. The last thing we'll look at is corn, because we want to stay in the grains and continue with the cycle analysis here. And what we have again is this big rally, of course, in the grain market. We have momentum continuing up. You could see the cycle rhythms in here as it was extremely strong. The bottom here, the rally phase, and then the peak that came early over here, pretty much right in the middle at the ideal peak level, and then it came down and broke pretty hard. So now it's rallying, and again, this is a resistance area that lines up right over here with the weekly chart, daily chart, resistance, the likelihood of a decline, which takes you into late June in this case, is where this cycle right over here and this cycle right over here sync up to a bottom. This also says that the correction in the grain market is likely to continue. Some might call this an A, B, C pattern. In our case, because we look at cycle analysis, we don't really look at that. But if you look at Elliott Wave, you could see how sometimes it does match up. This does say to us that the grain markets are in a rebound on the upside and likely to be trading to the downside again pretty soon to complete an intermediate correction. That is a look at cycle analysis and a look at the grain markets. I hope you found that extremely informative. You can learn much more about cycle analysis by taking our cycle analysis workshop. Note, if you become a level 4 member, you do get a 20% discount on that. And if you want more information on the cycle analysis workshop, go to askSlim.com, go to the workshop tab. You'll see 2 of them there, and you can look at both. And take a look at the video that's in the cycle analysis informational page there, and also the whole table of contents is there. So you'll get some great information on cycle analysis if you go to askSlim.com to the workshop tab.